So I have a leaking power steering rack. Figured I'd give this stuff a shot, and I'll show you guys that it is in fact leaking back here. I don't know how well the camera can see that, but all along the steering rack it's nice and moist. So we're going to give this stuff a shot. Instructions say to do is to put the whole bottle into your reservoir. Now what I'm going to do, like I said, the leak in this is still pretty slow, so I'm going to pump out 12 ounces into this bottle. You guys don't really need to see that, but this is a brand new little hose here. So of course this reservoir doesn't hold a full 12 ounces. So what I'll do is just fill it up to where it hits the top of the cold mark on the dipstick, and hopefully that'll be enough. Okay, check the level. And it's right to the cold mark, so hopefully that's enough. Now I just have to drive the car around for a while. It says this stuff is supposed to work immediately. Results are usually immediate, but you guys can pause that if you want. So it's now the 25th, and it's been about 2 days or so since I put that stuff into the power steering system on this car. And what I've got here is a piece of cardboard that I'm going to throw underneath the engine and the back part there. So if it has slowed down or if it's stopped completely, that's how we're going to be able to tell, or I'm going to be able to tell very quickly if it's, still leaking or not. I will say that I have noticed within the past couple days the power steering seems to be a lot smoother, and I noticed that almost immediately, but it's only become more pronounced, I guess you could say. And the other thing that I've noticed about it is it's a lot quieter. The power steering pump was whining a little bit on occasion, and this definitely seemed to have quieted that down. At least it hasn't done it that I've noticed, so hopefully it stays that way. But I'm going to go ahead and throw that piece of cardboard underneath the car, and then we'll check this out tomorrow and see if there's any difference. So it's actually a few days later. It's Saturday, and this is all that was left on the cardboard. I forgot to make a video about it yesterday on Friday, but that's all that was there. Now I'm almost positive that this is just residual fluid that was leaking, because the last couple of times I left the car parked out here, it left spots that were a lot bigger than that. They were really more about that size than anything else. But it seems to be that at the very least it stopped, or at least slowed down the leak. There's still going to be residual that's going to be around that steering rack. And I have noticed, as I said earlier in the video, that this thing has quieted down quite a bit, and it's only gotten better, really, as time's gone on. So it's been about, I put the stuff in on Monday, and it's now Saturday, so it's been about 5 days, and it seems to be doing everything that it should. I have really no issues or qualms with it. And for $8 to $10, I think it's a good deal. It's at least worth the shot, because, it's not even necessarily the cost of a steering rack for this car. It's the fact that I've got to spend the time to swap it out, and it's still a good steering rack other than the leaking. It's not broken down inside. Normally you can tell when they start breaking down and you empty the power steering fluid out, it kind of has like a grayish or silverish sheen to it. and this one didn't have that when I emptied all that fluid out of it, out of the power steering reservoir. So the steering rack is probably just now starting to wear, and hopefully that Lucas will at least mitigate some of that and give it a little bit longer of a lifespan. I only paid like $500 for this car, and I've probably put, I don't know, $300-400 in parts into it. And you know, it's a beater car. I don't want to replace the whole steering rack if I don't have to. But if I have to, I have to do it. And they're not really all that expensive, but it's just the time required to do so. There's, you know, you gotta take the wheels off and go through it and do a whole bunch of different steps. So anyways, I definitely give this stuff a good rating. I wish I had more of a scientific video for you guys, but hopefully those of you that understand and can appreciate the fact that, you know, for my purposes, it seems to be working okay. And I've definitely noticed a lot less of a fluid leak issue, if there even is one at all now. So I'm going to keep an eye on it. You know, if I notice anything different, or if I notice it to completely stop dripping anything, I'll leave that in the video description, so be sure to check that. But until next time, stay tuned for more.